Chapter 5. The Antique Shop. Bastidas Street was near the port in Santa Marta. Tourists liked to visit this part of town, and so did Lucio. Sometimes, after lunch on Sundays, he and his mother would go there for a walk. He often dreamed of getting on one of the boats that moved sadly from side to side and going on an adventure. Now at last, he was having an adventure, and he discovered that it made his head feel light and his heart beat faster. When he arrived at Bastidas Street, Eva was waiting for him outside a shop that sold very old things, an antique shop. A blue sign with yellow letters said Salvador's Antiques. "Hello," said Eva. "Hello, Eva," Lucio replied. "So, Salvador sells antiques, does he?" "Yes." "Has the mind map changed again?" asked Eva nervously. "I don't think so," he replied. "Not since yesterday." Lucio took his notebook out of his bag and looked at the mind map. The same words appeared as the day before. Guaca, Nebtashi, Hotel Continental, Esmeralda, Ichua, Mario, Salvador, and 25 Bastidas Street. "Lucio," said Eva, "before we go inside, tell me everything you know about the pendant again." Lucio saw that there was a cafe across the street from the antique shop. "Let's get a drink," he said. As they drank their juice, Lucio told Eva again about the American who had given his grandmother the pendant when she was working in a hotel in Santa Marta port. "I asked my mum last night," he explained. "She said that the hotel was called the Hotel Continental." "But that doesn't help us really, does it?" said Eva. "I mean, the hotel is closed. Tell me about your grandmother again." "There is not a lot more to tell. When I was a boy and my grandmother was dying," Lucio explained, "she gave me the pendant and told me to keep it a secret. She said that I shouldn't show it to anybody. You are the first person I've shown it to." Eva was listening carefully to every word Lucio said. "She said that I had to look after it until the correct moment arrived for the pendant to return home." They paid for their drinks and crossed Bastidas Street. When they pushed open the door to Salvador's Antiques, they could hear the sound of a bell. Inside the shop, it was quite dark, but Lucio and Eva could see that it was full of things made from gold and other expensive metals and stones. "Look," said Lucio. There was a little yellow bird singing in a cage beside the window. Before Eva could say anything, a young man, 5 or 6 years older than Lucio and Eva, appeared from a door at the back of the shop. His face, Lucio thought, was like the Kogi chiefs they had seen on the internet. "What do you want?" he said. The young man's voice was unfriendly. "We wanted to ask someone for help with some work for school," Lucio said to the young man politely. "We need some information about guaca." "We don't sell guaca here. We sell objects made by the Kogi, but not guaca. I'm sorry, but I can't help you." At that moment, the door behind the young man opened, and Eva and Lucio saw that there was an office behind the door. An older man, with perfect hair and expensive clothes, came into the room. "Who are your friends, Mario? Why don't you introduce me?" "Mario," thought Lucio, remembering the mind map. He looked at Eva. Eva moved her lips without speaking. "Mario!" "I have no idea who they are," answered Mario, without looking at Eva or Lucio. "Try to be friendly sometimes, Mario, just sometimes," the well-dressed man said as he shook both Eva and Lucio's hands. "Nice to meet you both. My name is Salvador Lana. Now, how can I help you?" "We have something to show you," Eva said. "What?" asked Lucio quickly. "A pendant," said Eva. Show him, Lucio. But Eva, said Lucio. Don't be afraid, said Salvador. Nothing will happen to your pendant. After a few seconds, Lucio took the little blue bag from his pocket and handed it to Salvador. Salvador opened the bag and took out the pendant. His eyes became hard, like metal. This is a beautiful pendant. Is it yours? He said. Yes, it's mine, replied Lucio. I have to take it to a place called Ichua. Ah, Ichua, Salvador said, as he looked at the pendant carefully. Interesting. Mario, said Salvador after a few seconds, what do you think? Salvador gave the pendant to Mario. Lucio felt nervous. Who were these men? And why was he showing them his grandmother's pendant? Is it what I think it is, Mario? Is it real? For a long time, Mario just looked at the pendant without speaking. Finally, he handed it back to Salvador. It is real, said Mario. Salvador looked very happy. My friends, said Salvador, I'm sorry, I don't know your names. I'm Lucio Valdez. My friend's name is Eva Villa. Lucio tried to sound older than he was. Well, Lucio Valdez and Eva Villa, continued Salvador, today is your lucky day. Salvador carefully returned the pendant to the little blue bag and gave it back to Lucio. You say that you want to take the pendant to Ichua, said Salvador. Yes, replied Lucio. It is very important. Well, I can take you to Ichua now, if you like. We can be there in a couple of hours. But is Ichua a real place? Eva asked. Of course it is, my young friend, replied Salvador. Isn't it, Mario? Lucio looked at Mario. Mario thought Lucio looked very nervous. Some people say it is, replied Mario. Of course it is, Salvador said. That will be all, thank you, Mario. Please go back to work now. Mario went through the door behind the counter into the back of the shop. When he closed the door, the little yellow bird stopped singing. Is it far? Lucio asked Salvador. Not really. The roads up to the Sierra Nevada are much better than they used to be. Don't worry, we'll be back before dinner. Lucio and Eva looked at each other. They both felt nervous. Okay, let's go, said Lucio, as he put the blue bag back into his trouser pocket.